Veterans health care. In 2011, VA is projected to treat 6.1 million patients, equivalent to the populations of Los Angeles and Chicago combined. Those 6.1 million veterans include 439,000 veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan. Those 6.1 million veterans will make 83 million outpatient visits to our facilities and will be treated as inpatients something on the order of 1 million times, about 930,000 times. To address large numbers like this, VA has programmed the following resources to take care of needs. $6.8 billion for long-term care, an increase of 14% over 2010. $2.6 billion for care of veterans in Iraq and Afghanistan, a 30% increase. $5.2 billion for mental health care, up $410 million over 2010, enabling us to expand inpatient, outpatient mental health care services, even as we see evidence of PTSD and traumatic brain injury and veteran suicides increasing. $590 million for medical and prosthetic research, $250 million to improve health care access for the more than 3 million veterans who live and are enrolled and live in our rural and most highly rural areas of our country. $217.6 million to meet the growing needs of women veterans, an increase of more than $18 million over the 2010 budget. And finally, funding for continued development of the virtual lifetime electronic record, VELR, something that will begin to create the seamless transition as the uniforms come off and youngsters transition from DOD over to the VA. In terms of benefits, in 2009, we received for the first time ever over 1 million new claims. That is not likely to stop. Disability claims have increased 75% between 2000 and the year 2009. And as a result, we now average over 97,000 new claims, disability claims, each month. We've launched an aggressive campaign to attack the claims backlog on multiple fronts, and we've set some ambitious objectives. No claim, where we're headed, no claim over 125 days in processing, not an average of 125 days. No claim over 125 days. And a 98% accuracy rate. Not just faster, but also better and more accurate decisions in a timely manner. And when we get to 125 days, there's nothing magical about 125 days. We'll look for another target. In the last 18 months, VBA expanded its workforce by over 3,500 people, began accepting online applications for initial disability benefits, initiated an innovation competition to get the best ideas out of our own workforce, launched over 30 pilot programs and initiatives to identify best practices, and invested over $138 million in a paperless veterans benefits management system that will be deployed in fiscal year 2012. 2012 is October 2011. We're a little over a year away from this. Additionally, VBA awarded a $9 million contract to fast-track Agent Orange claims associated with that presumption decision made last October. So we're not taking 250,000 new claims for Agent Orange and plunking them down on what is already a large inventory. We're going to fast-track that separately and keep those two moving in parallel. VBA's budget, to enable VBA to meet its aggressive targets that we've given them, the President's 2011 budget request provides $2.1 billion in discretionary funding, an increase of $460 million, or a 27% increase over the 2010 level funding. For VBA, this is unprecedented. It has never received this kind of funding attention in the past. The budget also includes $145 million in information technology funds to support the ongoing development of a smart, paperless claims processing system. We do intend to break the back of the backlog this year. Homelessness. In this rich and powerful nation, roughly 463,000 Americans remain homeless on any given night. We accept that our veterans come from every town and village in this great land and are a vital part of the national landscape. We say that in honoring their service, we keep faith with Abraham Lincoln's promise to care for those who have borne the battle and their families. Yet nearly 1 in 6 of America's homeless is a veteran, 107,000 of them. This cannot define your VA. This cannot define our nation. So if you wonder what this secretary will be working on for the next several years, this is it. Over the past 6 years, we've reduced veterans' homelessness significantly. We intend to end veterans' homelessness in the next 5 years. 107,000 homeless veterans being cared for. When I say access, access also includes the National Cemetery Administration. Last year, NCA performed over 106,000 interments of veterans and eligible family members, and we provided over 352,000 headstones and markers worldwide. This June, we began offering bronze medallions signifying a veteran status, bronze medallions that can be attached to privately purchased headstones and markers to designate that the interred is in fact a veteran. VA expanded NCA's burial policy, resulting in a plan to develop new state and national cemeteries. 10 grants totaling $40 million were awarded to states to fund 5 new state veteran cemeteries, and VA opened 5 new national cemeteries for a total construction cost of over $89 million. The President's proposed 2011 budget request includes $251 million for cemetery maintenance and operations to support an estimated 114,000 interments next year, a 3.8% increase over 2010. We are providing final resting places for the heroes of the nation, and we want those cemeteries to represent the national shrines those heroes deserve. So what's the point of my relaying to you this extended list of projects, finances, and people, sort of outlining our successes, the progress we've made, and sort of where we're headed? This is so you have an understanding what the priorities are, what your leadership and what the VA have put our heads together on. I am sharing this with you because every dollar and additional resources, every step forward towards improving care, increasing access, eliminating the backlog, ending homelessness, has a profound impact on veterans and therefore all of us. 1 October 2009, if we want a VA that's capable and ready to handle the unforeseen, on 1 October 2009, less than a year ago, a roadside bomb on the outskirts of Kandahar, Afghanistan, targeted a patrol of 9 Army Rangers out of the 1st Battalion. Ranger Corey Remsburg was blown into a nearby canal. Other members of his patrol killed and severely injured. Ranger Corey Remsburg had the right side of his head shattered and caved in. Following medevac, 6 surgeries at military hospitals in Afghanistan, Germany, and Bethesda, Ranger Remsburg was sent to our Tampa VA Medical Center last November in the hopes that we could do some work with him. He was fully comatose, in a state doctors described as vegetative. The odds for recovery, any recovery at all, very, very slim. But Corey, his family, VA therapists, doctors, and nurses never gave up. They rallied to his side, working on his limbs, massaging his body, keeping his muscles limber, using a wide variety of stimulants, everything from medications to aromas to even television programs, anything which might stimulate his senses. everything they could think of to bring him back to consciousness. Long days, weeks, and months, no signs. But finally, 3 months after his injury, doctors recognized that Corey Ramsberg had awakened. He had regained consciousness. Through sheer determination on his part, mirrored by the unwavering efforts of those who loved and cared for him, his progress has been agonizingly slow, but let me also report, steady. He communicated first on a computer keyboard, but has now slowly regained his ability to speak. He is one of VA's 70 percenters, one of those who was comatose with severe traumatic brain injury, whom everyone had decided there was very little hope. VA doctors, therapists, along with the love of his family and Corey's own fighting spirit, brought him back from the darkness. In June, he returned for a visit to his old unit. He went back to Hunter Army Airfield in Savannah, Georgia, home of the 1st Ranger Battalion, to shake hands with his buddies. As President Obama recounted in a recent speech, Corey is just what we'd expect of a Ranger Staff Sergeant. When someone at the VA hospital told him, "Corey, one day you're going to walk out of here," Corey's response, "No, I'm going to run out of here." Staff Sergeant Corey Ramsberg embodies the great fighting spirit that has made our nation great. Fighting spirit you all have first-hand knowledge about. Rangers lead the way is the slogan of the Ranger Regiment. Whatever service you come from, I think all veterans can relate to the importance of the words from one service's creed, a much repeated, often heard, recognizable 4 lines: I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. Staff Sergeant Corey Ramsberg's life, from his 10 deployments since 9/11, to his rescue by other Rangers, to his fight for life, epitomized that creed. He will not give up, period. And VA will not give up either. I will place the mission first, never accept defeat, never quit, never leave a fallen comrade, could as well be VA's creed. We will not give up on Corey Ramsberg or any other veteran who needs us and the care and benefits promised by President Lincoln in 1865. That promise defines my mission. It's why I came back. It's what we work on. It is the purpose of the funding update that I just gave you, to show you how we generate firepower and where it's going. It is also the mission of VA's 300,000 employees. We will always look to the VFW for your partnership, your assistance, your advice, and advocacy for veterans to help us fulfill that mission. Thank you for having me here again today. It's great to see all of you. May God bless our veterans. May God bless our men and women who continue to serve the cause of peace in uniform. May God continue to bless this great country of ours. Thank you very much.